It is 8:39. Time now for the Revelstoke Mayor Report with Mayor Gary Sauls. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Sean. How are you doing today?
I'm good. So, Gary, we are in a federal election right now. And then once this is done at the end of September, it'll be, a few months after, and then we'll all start talking about the municipal election, right? Because is it November of...
October of next year, 2022.
Oh, no. Okay, so...
Yep.
Right, so we will be having, I'm sure more and more stuff will come out of the woodwork after that.
Oh, of course.
That's always that's a fun time of year when you get to guess who's going to run.
Yeah.
I heard Maurice Gadbois is running.
Oh, is that right?
Against you, toe to toe. He just said, "Hey,
Awesome.
I'm gonna get a text.
All right, Mo, we got to talk now.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a text. Yeah. I did have a question about. I'm sure you're not surprised that it was announced about the $1 million increase in pay from tax dollars for city staff, which of course we get it, but there's always people see that and they go, seriously?
Yeah, people always, the media brings it up as if all these people are making big money, and for some of them they are making more money than you and I've ever seen. But by the same token, they're paid according to their work, and of course, if they have a QP benefit, an increase, whatever that is, usually the other exempt staff will get an equivalent increase. That sort of thing. That's kind of how it works. It looks like it's high, and it is.
Vote Hoffa. There we
go. Anyway, the staff are getting some were underpaid and are now getting the proper wage, and so I'm satisfied with how that works. So
okay. Now, what other things do we need to address?
First thing I want to start with, our operations manager, Public Works operations manager, Darren Komonoski, is retiring.
No way. Yep. Como's retiring.
Como's retiring. He's been with the city for 28 years, and I just want to publicly thank Darren for all the work that he's done for the community during that time. He's been an exemplary employee, and I'm just really happy for everything he's done. We're sad to see him go, but we really want to congratulate him on his retirement and all the good things that go with retirement. Fishing line in hand, sitting on the edge of the pond or in a boat or whatever he likes to do. But fishing is a big thing for Darren. So congratulations, Darren, and thanks again.
There's some four-eyed fish at the bottom of the sewage lagoon. So I guess there'll be a job posting soon.
Yeah, I think it actually is out already for that sort of thing. Yep. And then so we'll go back to the pool thing with the upcoming directive in September from the PHO. Proof of vaccination will be required for all persons aged 12 and older for admittance to the City of Revelstoke recreation facilities and programs. So that's kind of a mandated thing, and the city has to follow along with those rules. And so if you're going swimming, you're going, I'm assuming, to the arena or any of the other programs.
Well, that's another question. So there's some programs that are not city-oriented, but, someone rents a space in the rec rooms and they do it in that capacity. So do you know if those rules apply for outside programs that utilize that space?
Well, for outside programs, I think we're good to go with whatever. For inside, I believe the facilities themselves, they'll definitely have to be that. But so really what the staff are saying is more information becomes available about the details and the implementation of this proof of vaccine program. The city's going to post it on their website.
Okay.
And so, it's not really clearly defined to us at this point in time, has been
but
most
clear
things
as mud.
go, but yeah. So definitely as more information comes out, staff will post it, and then people will kind of get some clarity, as will we.
Okay, right? So swim lessons, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
so that does play a role in what people do.
Yep. And then some of the stuff from Development Services. There is a short-term rental survey available to the public located on Talk Revelstoke page under short-term rentals. So council has given 2 readings to the bylaw, and there will be a public hearing targeted for early October. So
can you tell me the gist or run down the gist of what the short-term rental concept is?
Well, basically, single-family residence, the suite in the home will be the one that's designated as short-term rental. And so if you have a house and you have an upstairs, downstairs, and the downstairs is the suite, the smaller of the two, that's what council would like you to use as your short-term rental.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I saw some posts online about those that live in their suite, but they rent out the top floor or the main floor with more rooms.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and so if people have concerns about that, I really want to encourage them to let us know, so that we can actually discuss that around the council table.
But even if it's approved, like what could possibly happen? Like, you're gonna have Bylaw come knock on your door and you all related? Yeah. Big gulp. See you later. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, there'll be some sort of enforcement. I'm not sure how that's going to roll out at this point in time.
Right. Okay.
So we have new development services building permit software, and we're in the process of installing it. So we're going to be working through the implementation, and we have a few volunteers from the building developer group that will be part of the implementation group.
I thought we already did that.
Well, we financed it. We basically gave them the money, and then they went out to look for it, and then we needed to upgrade hardware, servers, that sort of thing. So all of that sort of thing, I guess, has all come together now.
Oh, wow.
So they're implementing that software. And then a few of the developers are saying, hey, I'll be the person that wants to try that out, see how it works, and get familiar with it. And so they'll iron out the bugs before it goes to the public. So that's the intention with that sort of thing. The OCP, we've been talking about that for 2.5 years. There's been a minor update received, first reading on August 10th. And again, Talk Revelstoke webpage has the information and the proposed amendments, so the public can provide comments on that sort of thing.
I wanted to touch base with you about that because I finally went to that site and I was reading about it, or I was reading on it, and about the info, and then there was a comment section and people were commenting on their theories on stuff, and that I'm to the assumption that because this is created from the city's side of things, that's what they read. So comments on Facebook or whatever, they're ignored. But if you have a valid comment or something, a concern, you can post it there and they do read them.
Absolutely. They do,
even though it's not written in like in a proper format. Like,
no, it doesn't matter. It becomes part of the public record, and it goes to council as part of the public record. The same way, if people want to engage with development services, they want to send an email, they want to send me an email, anything that's written becomes part of the public process.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clear up, just because, sometimes people aren't going to take the time to write a letter. There will be some, but some won't. But they might have they're nervous to write a letter, or maybe they don't know every little detail behind the curtain, so they're afraid to say something because, we love to just pounce on people. Yeah. But those comments, they're read, and
they're
read. Considered.
They're read. They're taken into consideration. Okay. The people that are working on the OCP will look at all that. That all becomes part of the package. So I just encourage people, even if they want to put things in point form as to their concerns, if we don't understand it, we'd like to be able to reach out to them and say, can you just clarify? And so we'll deal with it. So
okay. That's just what I wanted to kind of touch base. I don't think that was clear either, because once I saw it, I realized it was a sort of an open forum. And I thought, well, a lot of these comments were nothing wrong with them. They were just comments. And I thought, well, are they going to read these comments and consider them as some form of thought? Again, I'm not saying they weren't. You know what I'm getting at. That they weren't written with every little meticulous word. It was just how people feel.
Well, and that's exactly what we want to hear. I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, well, I'm not an author. I don't want to, people aren't going to read what I'm saying. I'm going like, I don't care what it is. You have input, put it down, let us know, so that we can actually have a look at that and see how that fits into what's going on in the community. Because the OCP is based on what the public wants. This is the city thing. The residents OCP. This is not just mayor and council. We want to be able to hear what the community says. Give us some input.
Okay.
What would you like to see going on in the community?
So, like, if I went on there and commented, would it be possible for the city to purchase plastic rocks at a great scale so we could buy them at a discount? That's a possibility that they'd consider.
That's a
because I heard that we like plastic rocks. Yeah,
I think we can be ahead of you on that game. So absolutely not a problem. So go ahead and do that.
Okay.
August 10th, council meeting. Council passed a motion directing staff to uncouple the Thomas Brook Land Use designation. And so that was done. And then in the last council meeting, the Thomas Brook Resort Fringe Land Use Area was given first and second reading. And the reason we're doing that, so now it's going to go to public hearing. The reason we're doing that is the Thomas Brook area was under the former CSRD zoning, and it has to come out of CSRD zoning because now it's part of the city. So we're trying to figure out zoning, and we got to start with the OCP, get that in there, and then we can talk to the community as to what they want for zoning for their properties.
Okay.
So all of that sort of stuff is happening. And that's pretty much what I have for you, Sean.
Okay, well, that's a pretty decent amount of stuff to go over. And then, and now that we're kind of reaching, well, we're not even close to fall, but as soon as we see September, we get into a regular routine again when kids go back to school. So we'll see how that rolls out as we get towards the federal election. And then We'll start talking about what your guys' game plan is.
All right, good enough.
Thanks, Gary.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Sean.